Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the From the Back Tees podcast, a podcast from the Back Tees. I'm your co-host, Jerry Lou, and with me, as always, is our other co-host, Zack Pencer, and my bad grammar. Zack, how you doing today, buddy?
I'm doing pretty good. How about you?
I'm doing something. Don't nobody worry about me. We have an extra special guest today, Zack, who is joining us in our extra special podcast.
Rejoining us on the show, as Jerry's very upset, which we could tell from the last podcast, is none other than Nolan. Welcome, Nolan.
How are we doing, guys? And I was gonna throw Jerry under the bus, but you did it before.
You could throw him under the bus too.
He said very excited, and I was like, "Oh, I don't know about that." According to your last podcast,
I was definitely taken by surprise by the way Zack pitched me the ball and the way I swung underneath it and missed.
I set you up for failure.
It made me sound stupid that I was just kind of like, "Oh, it's Nolan." Oh, I was. If you were to say it differently, Zack, I would have said it like not to like pump up Nolan. Just if you were to say it differently, I'd be like, oh, it's Nolan. Oh, that's great. But the way you made it sound like, I'm like, it's Nolan.
I guess we'll never know.
Who would have you reacted differently if Zack would have like someone else?
I have no idea. That's the thing. Zack had an ace up his sleeve, evidently, and you were the ace.
Yeah, it was Nolan.
And if anyone plays any type of cards whatsoever, we can at least equate that it's like, hey, it doesn't matter if it's a 6 or it doesn't matter if it's a jack or an ace. That card can kill you, and he definitely got me in the side right there.
I hope you know now, anytime I know Nolan's coming on in advance, I'm going to bring it up in a similar manner and see if you ever get excited.
And or D'Annunzio or Blue Horseshoe, or any of those guys. Which, by the way, I meant to bring this up in the pre-show runner, is I mean, I haven't checked the tape too closely. Has Blue Horseshoe, did he predict the past two major winners or something, evidently? I mean, I'm not saying predicting Tiger to win the Masters was too much of a... That's like throwing a penny in the fountain and saying it's going to hit another penny.
I can't tell you that, but I know Ron Mintz, who wrote for us, predicted Brooks would win, and he's predicted 3 of the last 4 major winners.
Wow.
Wild.
Nice job, Ron.
Okay, listen, Mr. Mintz, and I love Mr. Mintz, I'm not talking against him, I'm just saying... Between Tiger Woods and Brooks Koepka and DJ, should we just like not play any more majors in terms of who's eligible to win them? I mean, come on. I mean,
picking them is still brutal.
Well, let's get to talking to Nolan here about Tiger and at the PGA, because as I mentioned to Nolan on Twitter, I fell into the Tiger trap. I have this big thing where whoever wins Augusta, doesn't matter whom it is, whoever wins the Masters, I put them on Grand Slam watch. Doesn't matter. I just do, because I want to see a calendar, modern day, quote-unquote, / quote-unquote, parentheses, unparentheses, whatever you want to call the slam these days, that is in 1 year. I want to see it happen. So whoever wins the Masters is evidently the one who's eligible to do that. When Tiger did it, that's why I said it's just like, oh my god, that's why I call it the Tiger trap. It's like, are we not stupid to not pick Tiger? I mean, or... Like I said, good grammar. What do you guys think?
Yeah, Jerry, this is why golf is so difficult to predict. Is on one hand, you want the guy you're predicting that given week to have shown success in the past, to have won recently, and show he's in good form. But in this case, we have the classic major win hangover, where he gave it his all, he expended all this energy. And this is like the most hangover-ish of all hangovers, right, for Tiger to win the Masters. And then he doesn't play another event until the PGA Championship, whether that was injury-related or emotionally distressed or something, some sort of way he was trying to recover from the Masters. Maybe he needed a couple more weeks, and hopefully we'll see soon. If he's going to play at the Memorial, that'd be nice in a couple weeks. But yeah, it just ended up being, it's kind of like, I felt like flipping a coin. Either he's going to win this thing or he's going to miss the cut. And you know what? He missed the cut.
Yeah, I don't know. Firstly, I guess, what did you think of his planning and how he ran his scheduling for when he played his rounds? Like, I don't think he played the day before or the Monday.
Yeah, and it came out something like he was sick. He woke up kind of ill on Wednesday morning. Who knows the truth in that or not, but either way, he didn't feel like playing that day. who knows if he felt like he was prepared enough for Bethpage, but that ultimately, the way we look at it, is probably hindered him on not getting enough reps in.
Yeah, and one thing, I think it's very underrated as to people are saying because he missed the cut, he didn't play well. He missed a couple, 5-foot putts that should have been birdies. I'm sure he made a couple longer ones. And the bigger problem is you had guys like Rory. Rory looked like a lock to miss the cut also. No one's denying that he's one of the better players out there. He just had a dominant 8-hole stretch where he made the cut on the number and then had a great weekend. Tiger easily could have done the same thing and people would be saying, oh, he's in fine form. It's really, in these majors, it's such a fine line between making the cut and top 10ing or missing the cut and looking terrible.
And a lot of that is predicated off of the field too, and how everyone else is playing relative to par. So really, my big question with this whole Tiger thing is, and I hate to say it, but we're gonna address this because we got Nolan here, and we're gonna dig the shovels in as deep as we can. But I bought a ticket to Tiger winning more majors right away. And I'm not saying, I'm not going to be that. I'm definitely not going to be that guy who says, he didn't come through here, so, I fell off the bandwagon like a lot of people probably are. I'm a realist, and realistically, I see Tiger winning more majors. I really hope it's sooner rather than later, just based off of how old he is and how physics works and time works and everything like that. That's why I want Kuchar to win some majors, goddammit. But that being said, I really feel like we're kind of in a weird malaise. We got the Pebble Beach coming up, U.S. Open there. You know what? I'm going to say it. Quirky short course. It is what it is. Not saying anybody can win there, but anybody can win there. That is the one course where it has a premium on fairway accuracy. And if you miss the fairway, you have to be strong, like Tiger was back in 2000 when he won at Pebble Beach. And not too many people are strong, save for the top 5 guys again. And I'm not going to say this is a bomber's goulash, but I'm sorry to rewind a little bit. Now that, I don't know, I kind of bought it. I bought into Tiger really steamrolling into a lot of things here. Bethpage wasn't a bad setup. Nolan, how do you think Tiger steps up for the U.S. Open at Pebble?
Yeah, no, I don't think this is tainting the Kool-Aid by any means. I'm still chugging that stuff down. I still am very confident in what he can do the rest of the year. Now, I don't know how many tournaments he's going to play. He might only play the Memorial, then the U.S. Open. Who knows if he's going to play the 5 weeks that's in between the U.S. Open and the British. And so he'll play the British, and then by then the season's nearly over. He's got the playoffs. Who knows how many he'll play there. There's the last WGC, the FedEx, in between the British and the playoffs. So that might only be 4 more tournaments the rest of the year. We see Tiger for sure, depending on how many playoff games he plays. But no, like you were saying, Pebble is it's a short course, and you can work your way around there. Similarly to Augusta, to be honest, you pick your spots to go after. It's a very strategically, I don't know. You've got to be just hitting in the right spots all the time, and you can get a guy where like Brooks who can just overpower it, or like 2000 Tiger Woods, and just have a lot of wedges all the time. Something I actually was pretty surprised what they did with the PGA was that they tried to make that thing pretty dang hard this year. They let the rough go a little long, and it seemed like, at least whenever I was watching Tiger, whenever he missed the fairway, he was having to punch out and then hopefully get up and down from 150 yards out. So I was pretty surprised to see that. Usually they kind of encourage some good scores at the PGA, but maybe it was Bethpage people saying, no, this is our tough course and we want to keep it that way.
Yeah, I was very surprised by the scoring, for sure.
That, the weather, I saw that too with the scoring. The weather did kind of come into play, and then it didn't, or whatever. But when that Stallion Koepka sprinted out ahead, there was just so much that was there was a lot to pay attention to, and then there was so much to ignore at the same time. And I really feel like going back to the whole how Bethpage played. Cripes, guys, this is only the 3rd major that's been there, And this course sets up like a major every single. I have an affinity for Bethpage for some reason. I remember that when they played the 2002 U.S. Open at Bethpage, it was Tiger wasn't defending. He won in 2000 at at Pebble, but it was the first major that wasn't at Augusta post 9/11 in America. Like, they changed the Ryder Cup to even years after 9/11. It was supposed to be. It was on the odd years. Remember Brookline in '99? Well, the 9/11 happened in September. Obviously, September 11th. September is when the Ryder Cup is every other year. They switched it to even years after that. And, I mean, God forbid, America still doesn't win. But that being needless to say, there was a shift there. And there was, I distinctly remember Augusta, 2002, was the first major that was played after 9/11. And then the first major outside of Augusta was played, the 2002 U.S. Open at Bethpage, where Tiger Woods won. And I distinctly remember seeing the New York police officers back in the fairway. Like, it almost looked like, oh, is this something that just New York does for security? Or is it post 9/11? Is this just the day and age, whatever, where it's just like, yeah, they don't want any yahoos running up at me because I have an MLB TV subscription. I see, like, streakers all the time, whatever. It just happens by nature. But at the same time, it's like, then there's also the other side where it's just kind of like, oh, hey, there's the cops. Oh, my God, where are their shields? They look like they're just Gestapo. Like, they're just all, like, standing there in a line, just kind of like, hey, they're just maintaining the peace. It's like, yeah, we're still golfing, two guys, right? We're still outside. We're still in nature enjoying ourselves. So, but anyways, that was something I distinctly remember was Tiger winning. Bethpage has always been meant to have majors played on it. I really hope it gets thrown into a rotation of some kind. It's only had 2 U.S. Opens and 1 PGA so far, and the Barclays gets there a few times. But I mean, man, Bethpage is just top to bottom. I mean,
it's a great tournament course.
I like it for all the same reasons I hate Torrey Pines, honestly. Really, for all the things I say Torrey Pines is stupid, I appreciate Bethpage for her. From a difficulty sake. But anyways, I mean, that's just me. But if we can flash forward to, if we're just going to move right up the peninsula there in terms of Torrey to Pebble Beach for the U.S. Open, cripes. There is no... If you look back at all the winners of the U.S. Open, or the performers at Pebble Beach for the Pro-Am or whatever, and not to say this is like a slick or an unslick segue into a prediction for the U.S. Open for all of us or whatever, but there is no dominant presence at Pebble, given the length, the dimensions, the solid, rough, whatever, and that's why you heard it here first. I'm picking DJ. You guys go.
There's no dominant presence at Pebble?
No, there is none.
None? I feel like I should let Nolan take this away. He definitely has the same pick as me.
Oh yeah, Tiger's had his fair runs there for sure. He knows that course, but man, I hate Brooks.
The one there every year.
I'm going Tiger. I think Tiger's...
I'm not being a naysayer. I'm just saying it's one of those tournaments where you see the PGA stop there every year, and majors come around there once or twice every decade or whatever, but there's no consistent winner. There really isn't, save for Phil Mickelson, who's teed up there 30 times and won 4 or something like that. I mean, that's the winner.
Love those Pro-Ams. More opportunities to throw the thumbs up. Did we see the... Phil Mickelson, did he break the thumbs up record?
He broke it.
According to him.
Congrats, shout out to Phil Mickelson.
Oh my God, congrats to George Saravachis or whatever his name is. Is Pepsi okay? Oh my God, when I saw that video and you guys saw my tweet. When I saw Phil's face at the end, I melted down. Like, this is just, it goes to show you why, like, our parents can still discover the internet at any time, and it's still going to be beautiful. There's still, like, a wealth of, like, there's a treasure trough.
Do you think, like, his kids are telling him to do these things, and he's just, like, caught on? I feel like
No.
He's, like, brilliant with social media.
I'm not saying it's based off of, like, quote, oh, I've seen him personally, I know him personally. No. I think he has just now gotten a hold of the account, or made the account, so to speak. And Phil has a great sense of humor. Like I said when I was talking to what's his nuts or whoever on Facebook, Twitter, Face, whatever. Essentially, how other than Phil, if you get him like going like too fast and he starts like cursing too much, or whatever. Other than that, he's like totally nice guy. There's like he's not assuming. He's super nice. He's like way too nice. I mean, he's like a big fat frat boy, and he makes you want to be a part of the frat, and then half the people want to be a part of the frat realize, oh no, I represent everything that is against frats, and that's just, well, that's...
His Twitter's amazing. He's an incredibly funny guy.
Oh, it's meant to be. I mean,
Yeah.
Yes, I guess if you want me to get back to Tiger for a second here, I definitely. I mean, he's still playing great even after that poor performance. He's still top 10 in scoring this year. He's like still at a 69.5 or something that he's averaging, and he's still. What led me astray is I listened to Brandel Chambly this year. For some reason, I I never really listened to those like before pre-shows leading up to a major. Brandel made a very convincing argument that Tiger was going to win the PGA. He kind of broke it down to there was only a handful of guys top 20 in both strokes gained off the tee and then strokes gained around the green, and it was like Tiger and Kuchar were kind of the top two dogs of the group.
You're
and
right.
then Tiger was the better. Yeah, Tiger was a better putter, so he was like, yeah, I'll go with Tiger. And I totally fell into that, and I was like, oh yeah, Brandel, that sounds great, man. But I think he's still got the game, and he's always like Pebble. I don't really understand why he doesn't really ever play that Pro-Am. I don't know if it's kind of his nature to not be super friendly. That's kind of been his past nature, but we'll see if he ever plays it here going forward.
Yeah, and that's the story on how Nolan lost his house.
Well, I was gonna say before we asked for Zack's input there, something I'm just kicking around off the top of my head right now is that maybe we have this big enamoration, new word, write that down, and that Tiger had some great success at Pebble way back in the day. Obviously, it was at the 2000 U.S. Open when he stormed away in record fashion. And then was it Nolan? Was it that year he won the 2000? The Pebble Beach Run was the year before. Went on, I think it was 15 when he hit that wedge shot from like 100 yards.
I think it was 99, wasn't it?
Okay, yeah. Okay, so 99. Like he had like this kind of like not affinity or whatever, but a quick love affair with Pebble. It was cute or whatever. But post 2000, well, it's been 19 years. I'm not saying I'm not trying to pour water on Tiger at Pebble. It's just Pebble Beach is what it is to a lot of people, and Tiger hasn't been really as relevant as Graham McDowell has been there in like the past 20 years, and that guy's won a major in the past 20 years there. So I don't really. I'm trying to estimate it properly because I don't want to look at it as another one of these crapshoots like we took Bethpage as, where it's just like, hey, here's the wheel of 12 golfers, spin it. It's only going to be one of these 12 guys winning. I want to try and think outside the box because Pebble, I honestly, from the bottom of my heart, think of the 150 guys who might be teeing up there, 75 of them could win it. Just like really, and that's what the U.S. Open is.
Yeah, I 100% agree. It's definitely going to be easier for the Kevin Kisners of the world to compete there and such.
What makes you say that? I mean,
because Kevin can plot his way around a golf course, and he can, if Bethpage just length, it just kind of throws him out of it. The only short hitter I saw that actually made the cut was Zack Johnson. That dude, that dude's a dog. Speed's shorter, but
he's short enough. I mean, let me put it this way: Kuchar's hitting it longer than those guys, but I mean, no, I hear what you're saying. But the trouble I have with Pebble, and if we're going to just compare them right up side to side, Pebble to Bethpage, those are like, in my opinion, the stark opposites of courses, really. And anybody can debate me on this. I'm not really like putting a flag in the ground here. I'm saying Pebble is really, it's a really long toothed chick, and Bethpage, I'm sorry, like just all the holes are very long, and Pebble is so short. Not saying like anyone can play there, but it's just kind of like, oh well, then we left a whole lot of middle ground in between, where it's just like that's where the rest of golf lies. I'm not saying like your Phils, your DJs, your ZJs can win it there. Anyone can win it at Pebble. It's just it's such a it's not, I don't want to say mystical, but it's such a hard course to qualify or quantify and hard to pick the winner. That's why I'm asking you guys so far out in advance, not necessarily Tiger related, but Zach, who do you like at Pebble this early? I mean, give me some type of foresight.
I like Tiger. I feel like the course suits him. Not even being a homer. Well, of course I love Tiger, but I feel like if I had to bet on anyone with the same odds, I would pick Tiger over anyone else.
Are we gonna? Okay, so
drink that Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
Yeah, chug a lug, buddy. We need to like make a board behind me for all these stupid bets we're about to make, because I'm about to make one saying. So, what would you give me in terms of the field versus Tiger Woods for Pebble? This is just me versus Zack. Nolan. Really sorry, I'm leaving you out of this. I mean, and it's not even fair to Nolan, but I mean, come on.
I feel like Tiger's like 8-1.
No, I don't know. That's quick. You were quick off the saddle, dog.
Yeah.
You're way too quick.
No, I'm still on the Tiger saddle. He's got this.
So we gotta
start tallying these bets, see where we're at.
You sincerely think, I'm not saying this in jest or looking down at you, think you pick Tiger to win at Pebble for the U.S. Open?
I'd pick him 1v1 over anyone else. I mean, like I said, anyone you're picking, it's hard to win. Like,
fair.
You're never going to be better than 50%, so you're most likely wrong.
Okay, correct. Okay, that's something I was kind of driving at, and I wasn't trying to bait you. I certainly wasn't trying to. But when you said, when you say certain things, that's why I was like, I'll jump down your throat. You goddamn right I will.
No, you don't got me. I'm going to be wrong, and I'll have an argument to defend myself.
No, it's okay. It's on the record. You said Tiger's going to win the U.S. Open, and I'm taking the field. And at 8-1, I'll get some return if we go high enough. So
Tiger's going to win. Tiger's going to win. Brooks is going to win. DJ's going to win. And Rory's going to win, and we'll just cut whichever one wins. And then we'll repost this thing, and people will think I'm a genius.
Gambling is no fun anymore.
Now I have it on audio. I could just cut whichever one, and then after I'll post it on Twitter. Look, I predicted the winner.
Oh, I see where you're going at. Okay, yeah, we'll get clean takes. You'll say one where it's like, well, give me 3. Rory's going to win. You're like, Rory's going to win.
Yeah, exactly.
Rory's going to win. Great.
Yeah.
Rory is going to win.
Yeah.
Oh man, dude, that's too far out to predict. Come on.
Well, is it though? I mean, well, at least in all fairness, and I'm glad you're here, Nolan. If our said editor-in-chief is going to be picking your boy to win the U.S. Open level right now, we may as well fucking talk about it. I mean, oh my god, are you kidding me?
Well, something you guys, I believe, know, but I don't know if our listeners do. They probably don't. I'm going to the U.S. Open, and I'm gonna witness history.
That's right.
And I really hope Tiger pulls it through for me, because I would definitely shed some tears on the 18th green.
Yeah,
that's
so you got credentials for the U.S. Open?
No, I got tickets straight up.
Oh, okay, fair is fair. I was gonna say, I'm like, damn, we were all trying for creds for that. And
yeah.
You're like, oh, I'm going to the U.S. Open. I'm like, where did it come from?
I would have told them, you're taking all of us, or you're taking none of us.
Exactly. For sure.
Well, I will.
Except Jerry, he has to be working.
Well,
someone has to record the pod, Jerry. You gotta stay behind.
Stay behind. Right. That's funny. That's real funny.
Real shame.
So I sincerely didn't think it was too far in advance talking about, like, the U.S. Open at Pebble or Tiger talk or whatever. I mean, especially if Zack thinks Tiger's going to win the U.S. Open. I mean, Jesus, is now not the right time to talk about it, Nolan? I mean, Nolan...
We can talk about it.
Who did you think, say for Tiger, I mean, if we're in this, who do you like at Pebble? In all your experiences in watching Pebble, in all the tournaments you've seen, and all the moments you've witnessed, I mean, how do you like the course, and what do you like there for the winner?
Well, I got the easy cop-out, and you could just go with Brooks. Man, I really want... I used to be such a Rory hater. When Rory was coming on, and everyone was like, "Oh, is he the next Tiger Woods?" And I was like, "No, he's not. No one's ever going to be the next Tiger Woods." And I've just come to like his game a lot more, and I really want him to win one this year. I think he's going to win the British back home in Northern Ireland.
That's true.
So that makes me not want to pick him at Pebble. Maybe we get a guy like Tony Finau or like Jason Day, one of those guys. But we'll see. I'm going to have to withhold my prediction because I think originally I thought Tiger would win, the U.S. Open, and that was probably just me saying, "Oh, I'm gonna go there. He's gonna win. It's gonna be all perfect." So
he is.
A lot of people said that about going to Georgia this year. I mean,
yeah,
what happened? So, and then to now double drill and go back. Zach, what was your favorite moment from the PGA Championship this week? I mean, there's a couple, and I'll go back to Nolan and ask him because I know there's a couple things, and we definitely don't have enough time to cover all of it because I have one thing that I definitely want to bring up that I know nobody will bring up. But Zach, what did you take the best? What was the biggest takeaway that you thought was the best from this tournament?
I would say my takeaway overall is the combination of all the pre-tournament media we saw on Brooks Koepka about how he doesn't want to be playing golf. He basically hates the game, is bored by it, and is only excited on the last and first 3 holes, and then goes out and sets all sorts of records. And although it was close at one point, he still ended up winning by a pretty big margin. One guy got close. So it was pretty wild.
Oh my God, America or the world, what if we were to find out that Ted Williams, every single time he saw the baseball come up, he just thought the same thing that was like, hey, I saw a lollipop and I like lollipops and I thought my teeth were on the bat and I just wanted to eat it or whatever. Just something generic every time. It's just, who cares? I bet you Michael Jordan, no matter how pumped up he was or no matter how hard he was charging or no matter how much he wanted to beat your ass, he was on autopilot. I know when I play my best golf, I'm on autopilot. It doesn't work that way where it's just, oh God.
I feel like Brooks genuinely doesn't like it. Brooks is genuinely like, I want to get out of here. This is so boring.
Okay, you know who that sounds like? Rory McIlroy 2.0.
Really?
Yeah.
I see it. I don't know. It could be a good comparison.
100%.
back to the autopilot. You could tell when the autopilot accidentally might have switched off, and Brooks was like, "Oh," and he started crapping his pants a little there. It's too bad DJ kind of followed suit on that and kind of par a couple of holes and make it really interesting. But
yeah,
that was true. And we've seen all the stories. I'm sure as anyone who's listening to this, thanks to all the listeners and all our new friends. We'll get to your names specifically later, but it's there's just so much to cover. It's like, yeah, the whole point where Brooks had bogeyed his 4th hole and he sailed that green or whatever, and you hear the crowd chanting DJ or whatever. He said it was a reset for him. It's just like, I hate to say it, part of me is like, you're goddamn right, it's a reset for him. Brooks Koepka is aces, and he was falling apart. That's the point where Brooks like pivoted and said no mas, and that was just it. I mean, I hate to say it, guys, I've been through so many golf classes. I've given so many golf lessons, and I've seen so many golf lessons, and I've been through golf, playing it and teaching it and just being around it business-wise for 30 years. But the thing that gets me is, you want to know what the sexiest thing is in golf? Really? And Nolan, if you play golf, you can appreciate this, and Zach, you can appreciate this. Repetition. Don't you want the same swing over and over that produces the same result over and over? It doesn't matter if it's a draw, it doesn't matter if it's a hook, it doesn't matter if it's a slice, whatever. If you can dial it up, the same thing every time, like the Iron Byron machine, named after Byron Nelson. I've had teachers at these academies tell me that's the answer to the golf swing is repetition, consistency. Just it doesn't matter what your miss is, what your strength is. Consistency. That's all we strive for. Brooks is bordering on, my God, like consistent to the point where it's like, are his eyes open when he's playing golf? I don't know. I mean, I don't want to watch a swing. Like, I played golf today for the first time in a couple of weeks. I was just trying to think, don't think about what you just saw, because that guy's way different than me. Again, that's all I was watching was this guy swatting the golf ball with like a fly swatter, just like beating it all over the place. I mean,
yeah, that's the thing with golf. As long as you know where the ball's gonna go, you can be a pretty good golfer no matter how the ball gets to that spot. And that's whenever I'm golfing and I'm struggling, it's always I'm on the tee box. I'm like, I have no idea if this is gonna go left or right, and you just have to like pray at that point, right? So that's when you get in trouble. But yeah, if you can just hit it to the same spot, no matter how it gets there, it doesn't matter. You're going to be good.
I can dig that for sure. Zach, do you have any insight on...
Jerry, you're talking to a champion. We'll get there.
Oh, that's a good point. That's right. So, speaking of, in terms of the next segment, recent accomplishments, Zach, what do you have? What do you have percolating?
I'm going to tell you, Brooks was a champion on Sunday. I entered my first golf tournament Elmridge Country Club, start a season tournament, 18 of us, we're in foursomes. It goes by your handicap, so it's all based on that. We won. I'm not saying I was better than Brooks or a better champion than him. I'm just saying you decide. You decide.
Winners win, it's just in your blood.
Exactly, winners win. I have 100% success rate in tournaments. I hit one fairway, 6-iron, right down the middle. Nice layup because I got fed up hitting my driver into the woods. Our guy Mark, the behind-the-scenes guy who does all the optimization on the site, he was on our team, and he.
Yeah.
So he shoots a 130 usually, 140, very inconsistent. This day he had the round of his life and shot 100.
Dude, shout out Mark.
So he gained us 15 points on the field, and the winning second was 20, and we ended up at minus 30. So yeah, basically we beat a bunch of 70-year-olds though, if we're gonna narrow it down.
Well, that sounds like the club I just joined, but I mean,
I feel like eating my words what I just said about winners win, because Brooks Koepka is a classic example of winners don't always win, because for some reason or not, which pisses me off, he only wins majors, and I can't get over that.
Yeah.
Why can't he compete?
Has he won the Elmridge start of season tournament? Don't think so. Don't think so.
I can't get over that, and I get that he says he's hyper focused for every major, and he's playing it up everything else is boring. Even the majors are boring until I'm, winning and there's 3 holes left, and then I, can't wait to finish the thing. I just don't buy it yet.
You hate the guy. I love it.
I tell you, get on board the sled with me, where you and I, even though we're approaching the same viewpoint from different angles, where it said you don't buy it yet, I'm coming to the same viewpoint where it's just kind of oh, he really thinks that's the case or whatever. I like showmanship, or I like sports, or whatever. I want to see Babe Ruth point out the home run or whatever. I want to see shit like that or whatever. So for you, skeptics unite. I want to see him, if that's really true, if Mr. Saltine will do that or whatever. However you want to describe it. It's not, I know golf wants flamboyancy to a certain degree. You want personalities, you want whatever. But that's why I started that hashtag Camp Koepka thing, because, really, it's just well, aren't we trying to, look at, breaking records? What if the guy who hit 80 home runs in baseball next year never took his head up or tilted his cap or whatever, had no personality whatsoever? We'd still be sucking his dick because he hit 80 home runs or whatever. It doesn't matter.
I think the personality plays a huge role. It's sort of like the Mike Trout syndrome.
It does. Okay, it does. But, well, now hold on. With Mike Trout, though, some people will argue that, that might factor into his lack thereof or performance or whatever. And then you have Bryce Harper on the other regard, but that's another podcast for another time, brother. Ultimately, what I'm saying is, for all the things that, people get on Brooks Koepka's ass for or whatever, for, it's the same thing as DJ or whatever, where it's just he just seems infallible, or not infallible, but just nothing gets to him. Wherever it's just yeah, that's a positive, folks. Especially Brooks. That guy played golf in the Middle East for years and got his ass handed to him.
Yeah.
And he used that to help himself out in terms of his temperament or whatever. So God forbid, I hate to say this, sorry Nolan, when I saw him take his cap off and shake Tiger's hand at the end of Friday or whatever, I kind of looked at it kind of oh my God, this guy doesn't matter if he's shaking Lee Westwood's hand, or Tiger Woods' hand, or Jack Nicklaus's hand, or Ches Reeves' hand. He just grasped that hand and said, "Hey, I just crushed all your bones, fucker." just one of those things. So just the way it goes. So, Zach's getting a little up with the Blazer game. So
yeah,
Nolan, if you need to bail to watch the game, you're more than welcome to. I distinctly want to talk to you about Tiger's performance.
We also need to talk about the Trailblazers
and the U.S. Open. So.
Yeah, we can talk Trailblazers.
Yeah, we need some Trailblazers talk. First, let's point out they're coming back. This is their year.
That's fine.
I have faith. At this point, yep. one point down. First quarter, hey, this is their year. We also hate the Warriors.
Down 3-0, why not us? Someone's got to do it.
We're an anti-Warriors podcast.
Why not be against one of the greatest dynasties ever, too?
Yeah.
How else is it going to happen?
Exactly. Yeah, back to Brooks, I guess.
No, hold on. No, real quick. Back to the Blazers.
He's trying to get off the fact.
I saw it happen. See, this is why I say don't talk about the Blazers. I saw it happen in the early '90s when they went up against the Bulls when the Bulls were the best and they couldn't do it. And then I saw it in the early aughts when they went up against the Lakers when the Lakers were about to bud and they couldn't do it. That's why I bowed out on the Blazers a long time ago. I just can't do it. Every single time they got hot, they faced somebody hotter, and I just can't. I can't deal with two suns orbiting each other. I just can't do it.
Yeah, we're hot, but we're the definite underdog. There's no question about that. So
I don't think regardless of who you guys are playing. I mean,
playing with house money.
Even if it's against the Rockets or whatever, just given how how Portland is, and it's not even the seeding, just the way the team is or whatever. Yeah, it's not even like a backhand thing. You guys, they're definitely the underdogs.
Yeah. Before we get back to golf, I feel like this is one of the crazier things in all of sports going on, which is why I hate the Warriors so much. In no sport do you follow a team and you would just be like, I'm a Montreal Canadiens fan. I would never be like, if they made the semifinals, like, oh, we're doomed to lose, and like this team's just so good, and even though we made it this far, like, good for them. Like, you always want to win the finals. In basketball now, it's come to the point like reaching the Western Conference Finals is like winning because you can't beat these guys. They're just a bunch of cheaters, basically.
And as our esteemed company here, Nolan, can agree with me, and I mean this in the nicest way possible, but I didn't have to watch how the series was going. I could just tell based off of Nolan's tweets or whatever how the series was going, because it went from something kind of chirpy about the refs to all of a sudden how good the Blazers play no matter what, and how, like, you know, in the end it doesn't matter about this, that, the other, and like, you know, this, that, and I just was kind of like, oh, the Blazers still losing, aren't they? God damn it! It just was one of those, like, there's nothing. It happens. Nolan, it happens to you. It happens to every fan base out there or whatever. They make you placate yourself. It's just, it's not your fault. It happens to everybody because you're a pundit. You are a sharp. You have a rapist wit of pundency there, and that's what you want to hear when it comes to. That's what
Poor choice of words.
Terrible choice of words.
Jim Carrey said that on Dumb and Dumber. He said with a rapist wit.
Okay, so you're comparing yourself to Dumb and Dumber. No,
but comparing you to Dumb
he's comparing you to a rapist. Is what it sounds like.
It festered in the Denver series when it was Game 7. And I was sick of it. I was like, Nolan, you gotta stop talking about the refs, and you gotta bring the positive vibes and see what happens, and just be done worrying about the refs. And, you know, it worked for Game 7, and so all this series, I've tried my hardest.
So now you're back to the refs.
But I'll tell you what, I was at Game 3 the other night, and there was a lot of... I finally got my voice back, let's just say that.
I feel like you had one of the best, like, comments, whether I totally know how backhanded it was, but it was like, and I'll use one of the words you used, one of the cleanest swipes ever, where you said, like, well, it's, you know, a detriment to Portland because of these three reasons, and one of them is we play really clean on the perimeter. I'm just kind of like, he's not wrong, but I mean, at the same, just like that's as much as that's a compliment that you guys play fundamental defense on the perimeter at this point in the season. That's going to get your ass kicked if that's the big point. Yep. It's just
100%. That was directed at the refs, how they allow things to get a little physical. That's just not our style.
Portland is notoriously a clean defensive team around the perimeter.
That's what they're known for.
Is that a thing? I don't know.
I think Portland, clean perimeter defense.
That's the purpose of it. It is a real thing. We defend without fouling, and that hurts us in the playoffs.
And Bill Beer only punched with his elbows. I know. These are all stats we can't look up anymore.
Yeah. Anyways,
God.
Kudos to my Zers. They're doing their best out there. You know, we got two guys who are celebrating Ramadan.
That's crazy, too. I saw that.
Fasting and, like, never eating, so, you know.
Who is it, Cantor, and who else?
Alfred Camino.
Yeah, I was going to guess that, but didn't want to come off poorly if I was wrong.
Jerry would have said it.
Yeah, Jerry doesn't care.
I do my best to care.
Come on.
So, excuse me. there was one thing I wanted to bring up about the PGA Championship. I don't know if you guys saw my tweet, but did you guys happen to catch Rich Beam's performance?
Yeah, I saw Justin Thomas tweeted about it. That's how I heard of it.
What did Justin Thomas say?
He just said, like, congrats to my... It was actually right before he made it, because he made the cut, which you'll get into, but it was when they weren't sure if he'd make it, just being like, I hope he makes it, so people could see how, like, ridiculous this was.
Now, see, that's awfully ahead of the curve for Justin Thomas, because most of the attention Rich Beam got was he shot, ladies and gentlemen, if you're not privy to, in the PGA Championship, 75, 69, 81, or 82, and then 69. But he got a lot of attention, mostly from his second 69 in the round 4, because like all his Sky Sports commentator buddies, because he's a full-time Sky Sports commentator out in Europe. All of them were giving him the kudos, saying like, "Hey, he's not a pro at all. You know, he just like teed it up because he's a previous winner and he has carte blanche there to tee it up or whatever." But JT was spot on in that the cut was at, and I hate to ask Nolan this because we were talking about it earlier, but what was the cut? It was +4, right?
Yep.
Four. It got to 4. I thought it was 3.
Yeah, Tiger was at 5, and it slipped to 4. Tiger.
So this wound up being, and I wish there were cameras on it, and I'm only going to tell it to the audience. If you guys have heard this before from me or elsewhere, I apologize. But so there we were. Rich Laser Beam, former Seattle, Washington cell phone salesman.
Pew, pew, pew.
PXG irons with lead tape on them. Ladies and gentlemen, that's like taking a Ferrari car you just bought and taking the cup holders out and throwing them against your windshield. I tell you what, folks. I swear to God, Rich Beam he's a great guy, but he's like the spokesperson for Pepto-Bismol. He's quirky as hell. I love him to death, but he's not Woody Austin quirky. He goes out and shoots 75 the first day, 5 over. Now, as he's teeing it up in round 2, we didn't know this, but the cup at the time, teeing off on the start of Friday, was +3. It wound up being +4. He played the first 9 holes, and this is the dividing line, and somebody can at me on Twitter this, please, because I don't know if Rich Beam in his second round teed off in the front 9 or back 9. I need to know this for sure because this dictates the whole story, but let's pretend he teed off in the front 9 because the story goes like this. He was 5 over starting off the round. The cut wound up being +4. He stood on the 10th tee, 10 over for the tournament, parred the next 4 holes, and then birdied 5 of the last 4 to make the cut just under the number. 75-69 for 4 over, and then he just has a Mai Tai and shoots a nice 12 over cozy or 11 over cozy the third round, and then shoots another 69, 1 under on the very last day to get a lot of their kudos. Rich Beam, you are the Sailor Jerry, Captain Morgan, Johnny Walker Sailor Drinker of the Week, whatever. There you go, Rich Beam.
Yeah, it was crazy. What a finish on such a difficult course. Those were like nearly impossible to birdie that many holes at the end on the back 9.
Well, but I've seen it a lot when it comes to when I caddy for a lot of guys who are single-digit handicaps. They jokingly or recreationally or all the above or whatever have a second gear they do engage as golfers, and I'm like a nice like robust 12 handicap who likes to play and have fun, but I don't have a second go for a gear. That's probably what separates me from being a better golfer, I'm sure. But I mean, these guys have a certain like, you know, they're just kind of like Bubba said, don't you dare tell me I can't hit a 9-iron 200 yards when he's like hitting 8-iron. It's just like, yeah, it's just these guys are still jocks and athletes in the end. So
still, like, you have to be hitting it close or making putts. Like, everything has to be perfect to end like that on this course. This wasn't like the CJ Cup or whatever.
Well, and I don't know if, Zach, have I ever talked about, or Nolan...
Is that a shot at Brooke?
Yeah, a little bit.
Isn't that one of his 3 other wins?
Yeah, I know. It was more just a random tournament I thought of. That must be easy.
Zach, have I ever talked about Rich Beam's performance back in 2002 in the International?
No, I don't think so. Go for it. Go ahead.
Oh, I mean, it was not to say his only claim to fame, but the only reason why I bring it up is because, we just had the PGA Championship, and he just performed a little bit. But in 2002, Rich Beam had the greatest 3 weeks of golf in his life because he won the 2002 International in Denver and then the PGA Championship 2 weeks later. But the International was a tournament played that was to Stableford scoring. And at the time, it wasn't modified Simford, which meant if you got a birdie, you got 2 points. Par, no points. Bogey, -1 point. Remember, I said that, folks at home. You had Rich Beam. This was like all the things we just joked about earlier about him being Mr. No-Namer. This was before he was Mr. No-Namer. This is when he hadn't done any of the stuff that we know him for. And he somehow stormed ahead in this Stableford tournament and just had 36 points. He was just way out there. And then not Shane Lowry, Steve Lowry, schlubby American. At the time, he was 45 years old, looked like all of our dads. And he essentially... These guys duked it out without being in the same pairing, where Steve Lowry would hit it into the water and then pitch out and make the par putt. And then he made an albatross in the next hole. And then he would do something stupid and make bogey. And then he would do something miraculous and make birdie. Meanwhile, Rich Beam was right ahead of him and 2 holes ahead of him, just playing steady golf with lots of close birdies and lots of good birdies or whatever. And it came down to a moment that has never, ever, ever happened in golf ever, where Steve Lowry stood over his putt, and if he made it, he would have won the tournament. If he missed, he would have lost it. And then you only get that from Stableford scoring, because in golf, obviously, it would be a tie, but that was a one, and he, sure as shit, he missed it. But I mean, it's golf isn't that way. There aren't too many sports that way. I mean, unless you get down to basketball free throws or something to the last second or whatever. I mean, it's when you get down to slicing the points. True. I mean, it's tough.
Yeah.
Yeah, even in basketball, it never would come down to winning or losing. It could be, making both, but one single free throw would always be tie or win, or tie or lose.
So anyways, long story boring, that was I love Rich Beam. Rich Laserbeam was performing at the PGA Championship.
Pew, pew.
Rich Laserbeam.
So, yeah, that was... I really didn't have any notes or any pre-show runners here or anything else to talk about, Zach. Do you have any Twitter questions or any Canadian fun facts or anything? Or
I have a Canadian fun fact coming. I think we got one question on Twitter. Didn't we?
We got one question. I can read it off for you, Zach, if you want, because I think it's directed towards me. Mr. at JLule36, word for word, here we go. Why don't you ever join me and CJ and Ian for shenanigans, Nolan?
Yeah, who is this guy?
So this is a lifelong friend of mine. Obviously, just trying to get under my skin here.
Jeez, they never invited me.
Jeff, I do hang out with you guys all the time, whenever I can. But now I'm an old...
He's a married man.
No,
yeah.
Hold on. Does he listen to the show?
Apparently. We'll see, though. We'll see.
Okay, you gotta give me some more hard information, otherwise that will dictate our appropriate response.
We need to test him with something, in that movie Draft Day where he puts the $100 bill to see if he reads the playbook.
If I had to put my money on it, I would doubt he listens to this show. One of those guys might, though.
Then what's the difference, Zach? I mean, look. I'm a stray cat, and you let me on your door. What are we trying to do? You want me to bring a bigger saucer of milk out? What's going on here?
Yeah, no, this guy, they didn't message any of us. Rude. That's the bigger problem. Jerry's pretty close. Jerry could hang out.
Yeah, I got some time. Yeah.
Jerry has an Xbox. Just head over to Jerry's.
No, I don't have an Xbox, but you can still hang out.
Oh, okay. I was wrong about that.
Oh no, I'm just now getting in the 21st century with PlayStation.
Oh, see? Get over to Jerry's, play some PlayStation. I have a great Canadian fun fact of the week, though.
Alright, what do you got?
Okay, what's the best holiday of the year?
Nolan, you go first.
Are you asking me for a Canadian? Because it's probably Boxing Day, right?
No, I'm saying for all holidays, for everyone. This is a general holiday. It's also definitely not Boxing Day.
Oh yeah, it's the 26th of December. Yes.
Yeah, I could.
The best holiday, man.
What's your favorite holiday?
I love Christmas.
You, Jerry?
It's just me.
My favorite holiday? I'm partial to Thanksgiving.
Okay, well, Christmas is the better
very
one.
American.
Christmas is the better one for the sake of this fun fact.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, excuse
Do you know that Santa Claus has an actual mailing address that you could send mail to? This is not a joke, and you'll get an answer.
In Jupiter, Florida.
No. So, this is, people listening, you could actually send mail, or have your kids send mail.
I'm writing this down.
Yes, you could send it to HOHOHO, which is ho ho ho, North Pole, Canada, for free in any languages. And if you put it with a return address, you'll get a letter back.
Wait, the North Pole is a part of Canada?
No, it's not, but I guess they made a town unofficially by that. And Canada Post, our main mailing thing, has confirmed that this is true and that you'll get a mail back if you put a return address.
Nolan, I hope you can back me up on this, just in terms of certain things that are passe or whatever. But I really appreciate a lot of Zach's sentiment, but maybe us as Americans are like really desensitized or past it or whatever, because part of me is just like, by age 6, I was just like, yeah, that old man ain't real. And yeah, I already knew his address. I don't fucking care.
Yeah. So before your kid turns 6, have them send letters to Canada.
I'm gonna send my own letter.
I see what he's getting at. I see what Zach's getting at. And if you send letters to Santa, you'll get a free from back to use hat, courtesy of Nike Golf.
Yeah, we'll write Merry Christmas on it.
This isn't what I wanted, but it's pretty cool.
Thanks, Santa.
Yes, but basically what I'm saying is Santa Claus is Canadian.
And there's no Jews up in Canada. What the hell?
That's true. We might get a lot of hate for saying Santa Claus is Canadian.
Well, to be fair...
You're gonna piss off a lot of Americans.
I know.
No. We're cool, because as one thing I wanted to speculate when we were talking about the show earlier is as much as we want to like illustrate like what we really believe in, the whole point of the show is to have fun and talk about golf and make jokes or whatever. And I certainly, if we happen to go off on a tangent, whether it's about an opinion about politics or sports,
which we do,
whatever, if and when we do, I certainly don't want, if somebody were to disagree with us, that's totally fine or whatever. You can unsubscribe or stop listening. That makes sense to me, because it's like, yeah, I've done that before too. I've done that to a lot of people. The whole point is to try not to strike too many chords that would make too many people think things where it's just like, oh, well, you don't know what up from down is, then F you or whatever. So
yeah, we're definitely not experts in anything.
With that being said, and as being a half-transplanted member of the Hasidic tribe, I had no idea none of them lived in Canada. Zach, how dare you? Educate me.
Yeah, no, we got this going. But yeah, to go with what you said, we're basically not experts in anything, and we basically will joke about anything and insult anything. We go with like the Family Guy mantra, you know, where if you insult everyone, you're not insulting anyone. They all get fair insults.
Terminator. Wait, there's a clip? Nope, no clip. Nope, we don't have the money for that. Okay, anyways.
No, exactly. But yeah, we're not experts in anything.
Well, that was a great fun fact.
Thank you.
That was the funnest of facts we've had so far.
Canadian Santa, you know it.
The jolliest effects.
Yeah.
Nolan, you doing anything up in the near future here? Anything fun going on? I mean, say for Tiger and Monterey. I mean,
and yeah, Blazers winning. This is their year.
I got that on the docket coming up. Blazers are gonna win the NBA Finals. What else? You know, June's coming around, so it'll be some good weather here. Get the sticks rusted or de-rusted off. I've played a couple rounds here, so I had a really good round not a couple weeks ago, but then followed it up with a fairly poor round, of course. But you know,
we're gonna need to all get together one time, have a from the back tees golf tournament.
Ooh.
I am more than happy to host that here.
The Bandon Dunes Invitational.
Absolutely, we can. My house has more than enough room for everyone to hang out and stay over, and yeah, it's we'll have to get out in the afternoons. You guys don't want to pay, but you know that's just how you slip through the cracks.
We'll give them hats. That'll be our payment. What? Hats. We'll give them hats. Come on.
They believe you me, but they have too many hats.
They have way too many hats.
You want to talk about over merchandising? That place has so much merchandise. I mean, because some of the pro shops sell so much more than others. Like, Bandon Dunes is literally Disneyland, where like if you go there with your wife or whatever, and she might not golf all the rounds you golf, guess what she's doing? She's in the pro shop spending $450 on like hats for everyone back home or like accessories for everyone just because it has the little puffin on it or whatever. It's just the way it is. I mean, I'm blessed to live here and work here, and I want you guys to experience it.
I have a question for Nolan.
Which Nolan, by the way, I want to get to you off the air. I got some sweet gear I want to send you.
No way, that's awesome, man. I got a quick.
I have access to the caddy store, so I get pretty nice stuff.
Are there actually puffins down there?
No.
Negative. Whoa, easy, Zach. Go ahead. What do you got?
I thought he was asking me. He might have been asking you, so it's no to both.
No, I'm asking about Bandon, so I'm asking Jerry.
Oh, I thought you were asking about
Zach,
Canada.
being a northern fellow of northern birds, what do you know?
I thought you were talking about Canada. Like, are there puffins in Canada?
The name of this episode will be called Hot Puffin Talk. That being said, I've heard that there's like a couple dozen puffins that migrate down onto the rocks of Bandons a couple weeks out of the year or whatever, but a puffin is an Arctic bird. It has no business being abandoned dunes or abandoned proper. That being said, it's a badass logo though. So I mean, it's pretty sweet.
I want some homework, Jerry. I want you to read up on why the puffin. Do you already know?
It's a good question.
I'll do my best because there are some publications out there about like a lot of real hidden knowledge about Bandon, and that is not involved. So I will get to the bottom of that. I will contact my local PBS station and get to the roots.
I have a question though, sort of for Nolan, because I know the answer for Jerry because he's in Bandon. The courses you play at, are there often a lot of courses at the same club?
No, not really. It's one club, one course. Typically, I know of a few around the Portland area that have multiple courses, but no.
Yeah, 'cause I feel like in Canada I can't think of any really that are like mine is 2 courses, but it's 2 pretty short courses. It's nothing like special. We don't have these like huge clubs like Bethpage, where I think Bethpage has 5 courses.
Yeah. And now, if you get over to Central Oregon, though, almost like a lot of those resorts or clubs have multiple courses. Like if you go to Sun River, if you go to Black Butte, if you go to Eagle Crest or whatnot, those are resorts, and they have like 3 to 4 courses each, actually. So
yeah.
He said it best when Zack said Bethpage, because I was just sitting in McKees a couple nights ago having a beer with my girlfriend and my golfers I was scouting for, and I just heard one of the golfers at another table exclaim to his wife, he's like, "Oh, this place is just like Bethpage. They have 5 courses here." Just like, oh yeah, but I mean, that's passe to me because I live here and I work here, and it's just kind of like, yeah, no, we have 5 courses. Like once your eyes stop spinning and land on cherries, take your pick on what course you want to play. It's just kind of, that's the way it goes. But because we had Bethpage in the major highlight recently, and because I do work at Bandon Dunes, to kind of cater to your question a little bit more, that's not really, like, even when I was an assistant pro out in Maryland at Compass Point Golf Course in Pasadena, they were a public municipal 36-hole course, or like they just had 218s, and that was rare. Like, that was very rare. Under the same management umbrella, there's only one other course in the state under the same umbrella, well, 2 in the state. I mean, it's just very... Courses typically are, from what I've noticed, whether it's public or private entity, 18 holes. That's your track. That's your thing. I know there's great exceptions to the rule, probably about 20% of the time, but say for obviously the major we just saw, and where yours truly works, it's not always the case. I mean,
yeah, and before we go, I feel like we should give one more shout out for what you're doing next week. I hear you have a good gig for a pretty big event.
Yes, I'm so evidently I was,
Shots fired.
I put myself on the list to work the God, this is going to be embarrassing. I don't even know the fucking I love it. It's like the USGA 4-ball or something.
Oh, is this confidential information?
Oh yeah,
No, I possess confidential information, but it's just also. Let me put it this way: this is something that happens semi-periodically at Bandon Dunes. At the point where I just found out the other day when I was out at the smoke pit at the Caddy Shack, I got an email from my director saying, "Hey Jerry, here's your golfers and their phone numbers for the 4-ball." And I was essentially emailed them back going, "The fucking what now?" Like I just was like I didn't know what to do. Like I put my name. They were taking the top 50 caddies. I put my name on the list like 3 months late, and I was number 86. Just putting it on there saying like, "Hey, so it's ink and paper. I'm just on there." Next thing you know, I'm caddying for 2 guys who are playing in the 4-ball, which practice rounds start the 23rd, and the whole venue is going to be the 23rd through the 29th. And one of the big deals about it is caddies get first crack at caddying for the U.S. Amateur next year, which I don't want to be a part of. But as another buddy of mine told me, if these golfers that I caddy for win, they get a free ride to the Masters or something like that. And if they were to take me along, that'd be great. But in the end, I don't give a shit. So.
I thought it's pretty cool.
Quick shout out to Myers Leonard. He's 9 for 11, has 22 points. He's balling.
Wow. What did you call him? The Hammer?
The Hammer.
That's worth something.
Myers is a bit of a pretty boy. He's got the hair going.
I know where he lives, by the way.
That wasn't creepy at all.
He bought my boss's old house.
Oh wow.
So,
He must be balling. These basketball players, they live their life.
He lives up in the hills of Wilsonville, Westland, Oregon.
Jeez, why do you give his address?
He's a big golfer too. He's a big golfer. He's 7 feet tall.
Imagine. We'd have him on the podcast. We wouldn't be able to see anything. He'd have to have his mic lifted to his face.
Yeah, maybe I'll have to reach out to him, see if he wants to hop on the pod this summer.
Yeah,
I know he's a member at Oregon Golf Club.
Yeah.
No, Oregon Golf Club. It's like in West.
Oh, PC. Sorry.
Yeah, not OGA.
I don't know anything about him, but I feel like he's a really cool guy.
Yeah, he's a bro. He's a big Fortnite player too.
Yeah, he seems like a guy who's like major bro status, like still living out his college years. Like,
yeah.
Aren't we all? Guys, I mean, I hate to say it, I may be the eldest out of all of us, and I'm still just. Once we conclude this podcast, I might need to go online and kill some kids online at Call of Duty. And parents and anyone listening, don't take that too terribly. It's all virtual. Just relax.
Yeah, we're an anti-killing podcast for sure.
They respawn.
That's funny. That's real funny. All right, guys. Well, Nolan, what are you doing? Where can we find you? You got any pieces coming up? You got the best of Nolan T Smith. What do we got?
Yeah, we'll see. Hopefully Tiger plays the Memorial. I know he likes to honor Jack in that way, and he always plays well there too. So we'll see. He's a big Ohio winner. He loves playing over in Ohio. So hopefully that's in 2 weeks. Hopefully tease it up there. I'll get something written for that. But then, a couple weeks I'll be down at the U.S. Open. I cannot wait. I'll be there for all 4 rounds. So
that's crazy. Yeah.
I'll try to live tweet a lot. Follow me at Nolan T Smith on Twitter. I'll probably post.
I'm already up his tailpipe and he's on his couch watching golf, and I'm like, but saying like, "Hey, are you watching golf right now?"
Yeah, I'll probably post some videos and whatnot on my Instagram. That's also just Nolan T Smith. But I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be really fun. I went to the U.S. Open at Chambers Bay, and that was my first taste of professional golf.
That was a great one too.
Yeah.
And before we conclude, Zack, did we have a staff member pick Brooks Koepka to win?
Did we? I don't think we did.
Damn it! Oh, I thought I was lobbing up to you because I know D'Annunzio picked Koepka and somebody else.
D'Annunzio picked Koepka. It was like 15th. He had Rahm winning.
And Tucker picked Spieth. Nobody had Koepka. I could have sworn. Oh, hey, D'Annunzio. Sorry, I thought I was just handing you a free cookie.
I had Finau.
Yeah. We know you had Finau.
Yeah.
Oh, I have yet to uncrack that egg.
Who did you take?
Fowler.
Yeah.
What does it matter who you took if it wasn't DJ or Brooks?
At least you guys made the cut.
Yeah, and I picked Phil, and I picked Phil as my 71 runaway, and he provided 1,001 on the entertainment returns. So what do you got?
That's fair. He might have been the big winner this week.
The big loser, though. The big loser is that one guy who bet on Tiger to win the Grand Slam.
Yeah, guys, that guy. Okay, we need 5 more minutes on this. This guy is the biggest idiot I've ever met. Why? What did he bet? 100,000.
So.
He bet 100,000 to win 10 million, right?
Okay, listen. I guarantee you. Look. There's. I'm sorry. I feel sorry for that guy, but guess what? Until Tiger Woods winning the Masters last major, I guarantee you, every major leading up to it, somebody out there was betting 50K or more on Tiger, and he just didn't win, so therefore it wasn't a fucking story. There's always 2 or 3 guys who still think Joe Namath will like bust out of his leg brace at 75 and still win the Super Bowl or whatever, because there's odds for that. They're just the way it goes.
No, but that's not why he's an idiot.
That's why I brought up to Nolan. It's a Tiger trap. The fact that he won the Masters screwed me in all my picks for the rest of the year.
That's not why he's an idiot, though. That's the craziest part. Obviously, like, you're an idiot for betting that, although we don't really care if you bet 100,000 on it, but we'd prefer if you gave it to us right away. And
I think that's terrible odds. 100 to
that's
1.
That's what I'm going to explain.
Something that no one's ever done, and he's 43 years old.
Why wouldn't he just bet 100,000 on him to win the PGA Championship at 12 to 1? You get 1.2 million, and then bet 1.2 million on him to win the next tournament. That's probably at least 10 to 1, and then you win 12 million, and he just has to win 2 tournaments instead of 3.
Yeah, but you guys are missing the point in the first place. It took every single major for 11 years, somebody's betting on Tiger. All of a sudden, he won one, and then he had to put that bet on him to win the rest of them.
Yeah, he had to lose the rest.
It could have been any year, any major. That's what I'm trying to say, where it's just like, it was all predicated off of Tiger's first victory. That's all. It's not a bad thing. It's just one of those things where it's just kind of like, oh, you can't predict when the rain's going to fall until after the clouds went away. You just can't do it. You just can't do it.
Yeah, so this guy is basically the biggest idiot imaginable. Why just bet on him to win the next 2?
I'm trying to take the shine off of him. The poor guy just has too much attention on him right now, because it would have been somebody else. It would have been another time, and it would have been somebody else falling for the same bullshit.
He lied and said he never bets on golf.
He's the Steve Bartman of golf right now, and it's not his fault.
He also lied and said he never bets on golf, and then right away he's like, this is my first bet, and then my second bet is 100,000 to win 10 million. Liar.
Fair enough, because everything is fake news. Fake news. It's all fake news.
Big time fake news. A little tip for people. If someone says they won a huge amount and it was their first time betting, it wasn't their first time betting.
The best part is, in the end, none of this means anything, really, in the grand scheme of anything. I like to stamp down on plausible deniability in terms of, no. I like to think if we're that stupid, I can stop it. Hopefully. That's all. So, like we said, we can see Nolan at Nolan T Smith on Twitter. He frequently contributes. Well, God forbid, if Tiger keeps winning, and then some. We keep seeing more and more of him on the Twitter sphere with Tiger Talk, and then players just keep winning. And also our website at www.fromthebackttees.com. Zach, what's the best way people can find you?
Yeah, you could find me at the From the Back Tees Twitter. I basically just use that Twitter. Basically for all my...
By the way, you still don't follow me with your real Twitter account.
Oh, really? I, never use it.
He uses, 4 days later for, a recip like on something.
Yeah, exactly. Then I'll just all the...
Me and Zack are friends on Facebook, but, neither one of us go, or at least I don't go on Facebook.
I don't really use social media, so the fact that I have the socials for, From the Back Tees sort of makes me feel good, because I'm now I have a purpose to use social media.
It's all right.
Nolan, isn't that cute? He said he's not into social media, and that's exactly how he got me on the staff.
No, but I mean my personal social media. I'm not like a guy taking Snapchats of my food. No offense if you are, Nolan. You might be.
No, that was a past life.
and full offense to those of you who do take pictures of your food, because we appreciate what you're eating, but nobody else gives a fuck. Eat it. Okay,
Nolan's a food blogger. How do you think we met him?
Not at all.
He has a big time food Instagram.
Wait a second, being a food blogger and critic is different. That's like an assignment.
Yeah, he had a food Instagram, Nolan. Big following.
There's nothing wrong with
it's
that.
His passion.
What are you throwing shine at Nolan for that?
It's his passion.
I think I posted one picture of food on Instagram, and it was to make fun of those who do that. It was in mockery.
It's funny. It's like, that's what hashtag Ciabatta believe it. Hashtag Ciabatta Tuesdays.
I still remember because I think it was some pasta dish down in San Diego, and I was like, "Oh, this looks like really good."
Mamma Mia's on Grand Avenue.
Negative.
Oh, we have a Mamma Mia's right near us.
It was actually in Encinitas, if I recall correctly.
Ooh, that's...
It was prime Mexican.
We'll talk off air. Well, Encinitas has like a nice German place.
People need to know.
Yeah. And Encinitas has a great cocaine bar, too. I'm just saying. Encinitas has a lot of great things there. We'll talk off air about it later.
Yeah.
So, Zach, anything else you want to plug before we take it away here?
That's basically it. We have some new merch on the site, which is pretty cool. Some Mo Norman-inspired merch. Plus, there's some Canadian flags, which is cool.
If you're into golf and if you're an American and you're into football, which, by the way, Zach, I meant to say this because the couple guys they had before recently were Canadian, and they didn't bring this up, but I really want to apologize to a lot of potential listeners out there. If we happen to focus on American affairs too much, or like North American affairs too much, we apologize. We know there's more out there in the world, and we do our best to that's why we want to do more podcasts, and we want to screw around and definitely talk about as many things as we can. But all that being said, it's just there's so much entertainment that is golf in front of us, and all the social media and stuff like that. So, anyways, I can't think of anything else to say. You guys can follow me on Twitter. You know where to follow me, and we really, really appreciate being a part of Michigan Sports and Entertainment's platform.
Oh yeah, so I'll cut you off for a second. They actually changed their name because they don't want to be. It sort of makes sense. They just changed this yesterday, maybe, because I guess Michigan Sports and Entertainment sort of gives up the vibe that it's Michigan related. Oh, Jerry Lou left. He'll be back in.
Right there.
Wi-Fi problems. Yes, so they changed it from Michigan Sports and Entertainment to Big Heads Media.
Big Heads Media.
Big Heads Media. Now we're a media enterprise here.
Wow, I love it. Hey, big power move, Michigan Sports. Big Head Media. That's catchy. I love it.
Yeah, exactly. So we lost Jerry in pretty good timing, though. I don't think we're getting him back. But you can find Jerry at Jerry Lou Looper 1. I think that's it, because the first one was taken, so he's 1. And that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed the episode, and we'll catch you soon.
Yeah, appreciate it, Zach. Thanks for having me.